Hey all, and thanks for tuning in for this paranormal pit stop, which will take us through an infamous prison site located off of Collins Street in Joliet, Illinois. Made famous through a number of appearances in film, television, and literature, most notably as Fox River State Pen in the Fox series Prison Break, and for its holding of fictional inmate Joliet Jake Blues from the 1980s film The Blues Brothers. Are you prepared to brave the history and hauntings of the Old Joliet Prison? Originally called the Illinois State Penitentiary, this prison site would open its doors in 1858 to replace an earlier site out of Alton, which had been constructed in 1831 and had fallen into disrepair. Illinois State Pen was constructed on convict labor, with the first 33 inmates arriving to start work in May of 1858, and its last transferred batch arriving in 1860. Through the Civil War, the lockup would hold both criminals and POWs, and in 1865, its first corrections officer, one Joseph Clark, would be killed on the job. The Pen's initial plan totaled a 100-room female cell house located within the male segment, and women would be held adjacent to men until 1870, after which female housing was transferred up to the 4th floor of the Central Admin Building. Through the remainder of the 1870s, the prison would contract labor deals with local businesses. By 1872, its population had reached 1,239, a record height for any single prison at the time, and in 1896, a separated 100-cell Joliet Women's Prison was constructed across the street from the male pen. Resulting from its refusal to modernize, by 1910 the prison still had no running water or toilets within its cells, and though the 1917 construction of the nearby Statesville Correctional Center was intended to initiate the closure of Joliet, the old lockup would remain in operation. In 1933, the site's female inmates were transferred to the Oakdale Women's Reformatory, with the old female facility being further utilized for remaining male prisoners. And through the early 1960s, the campus would host a reception and classification center for Northern Illinois that would house new inmates holding on their final assignments alongside a populace of permanent detainees. In 1975, a riot headed by members of the Almighty Black Peace Stone Nation, among other Chicago street gangs, would break out, during which time several corrections officers were taken hostage, and one Herbert Cadillac Catlett, who tried to reason with rioters, was killed. Fortunately, this state of unrest was quelled without further casualties. The prison's inmate populace would peak in 1990 at just over 1,300. By the year 2000, it had declined to around 1,156. And in 2002, due to budget cuts and the obsolete and dangerous condition of the near-ancient facility, Joliet Correctional Center would close its doors as a holding prison, after which remaining inmates and a good bulk of the staff were transferred to Statesville Correctional Center. The old lockup would sit empty for several years, with various structures damaged in a fire. In 2017, the city would take control of the site, and in 2018, the Joliet Area Historical Museum would start operating tours from within. As of fall of 2021, for the first time to date, a portion of the old structure is being utilized as a public haunted attraction. During its days in operation, the Old Joliet Prison held a number of notorious criminals, including John Wayne Gacy, James Earl Ray, Babyface Nelson, Adolf Lutgert, and Richard Speck, and acted as stage to countless brutal deaths, with causes ranging from illness to executions, to one high-profile murder in which the victim was literally dismembered and scattered across the property. And not surprisingly, the whole of the site is rumored to be plagued with paranormal infestations, with officials and visitors reporting disembodied voices, wailing, screams, and whistles, and frequent encounters with ghostly guards, staff, and inmates in old-fashioned garb. Many who've braved entry into this fortress-like structure have described the feeling of never truly being alone, sudden and inexplicable bouts of claustrophobia, the sensations of being touched or even hit by unseen hands, and, near the showers, the strong irony aroma of blood. And paranormal investigations of the premises have yielded exceedingly high EMF levels, EVPs caught in recordings, orbs and strange mists captured in photography and video, instances in which heat sensors are tripped without cause, and on one occasion, a group documented being attacked by an invisible presence. Lastly, one more popular story surrounding the Old Joliet Prison tells that on June 20th of 1915, Mrs. Odette Maisie Bordeaux Allen, wife of then Warden Edmund or Ned Allen, was found deceased in her bed with her skull caved in. Following investigation, it was discovered that an inmate by the name of Joe Campbell, or Chicken Joe, had been working as a houseboy when the crime occurred. Joe was charged with with the murder, and though he maintained his innocence, spent the rest of his days in Joliet, dying behind bars in 1950. Local legend tells the spirit of Odette remains on site, and since her passing, those frequenting the property have reported the disembodied sounds of footsteps and of someone shuffling about the halls and bedroom of the second-floor admin building, where she once resided. Odette's manifestation has also been known to sing eerily in the nearby prison cemetery, an occurrence so common that for years, many have gathered to hear the graveyard's infamous singing ghost. Thanks for joining us on this paranormal pit stop. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time.